फिर किसी को फोन दे देना, कोई और रिकॉर्डिंग।
नमस्कार, मैं सीमा गुप्ता आप सभी का यहाँ अभिनंदन करती हूँ। सो दिस इज स्किल डेवलपमेंट काउंसिल टीम चंडीगढ़ यूटी। वी आर reciting Lord Vishnu Stuti. We are taking first stanza only. Along with that, we are chanting Shanti Mantra for everyone's Mangal, health, blissful and peaceful life. Please join us. शान्ताकारं भुजगशयनं पद्मनाभं सुरेशं लक्ष्मीकान्तं कमलनयनं योगिविद्यानगम्यं वन्दे विष्णु भवभयहरं सर्वलोकैकनाथं वन्दे विष्णु भवभयहरं।
That was indeed a very peaceful experience, and we thank you, Seema ma'am and her team, for commencing the event on such a positive note.
With change being an inner.
That's something really what you just said. So if we're talking about change, can you just tell me what change means to you?
मैम वो लाइन तो आपने रटने को बोल दिया. You can't ask me a question like this. Anyway, but if I have to say what change is, I would say change for me would mean anything big or small that happens in my life. I mean, why don't we ask the audience what they think about change?
Yeah, that's a good thing. So
So in a single statement, tell us about a change in your life in the past 4 years.
anyone who can tell? Yes, sir. Single
statement. Yes.
Every gate is new. Right. I got you. And in that
various changes. And every change is a.
He grew from 20 members to 700 members.
Woohoo!
We women have become Wiccians.
Oh yes, good one.
Anybody else? Yes, ma'am wants to share.
For me, change is like having struggles. More struggles you have, more you are predominantly going to change. Like metamorphosis, when a butterfly becomes is developed from a caterpillar, there is a lot of struggle. So more is the struggle, more is the change, and better you become.
Right. So changes always leads to growth, positive growth. That's nice. Okay, so I think when all of you share your changes, I think host can also get a chance to share some changes, right? So some positive change I want to share here. So excited मत होइए, मेरा personal life का कोई change नहीं है जो आप लोगों को सुनने को मिलेगा. But there's something that is happening in Wicci, a very beautiful positive change, and that is that we had a very lovely lady here who was heading the Human Rights Council, Wicci, UT Chandigarh, and who is she? Yes, Dr. Richa Ranjan, and now heading to the post proudly for Vice President Wicci UT Chandigarh. A big round of applause for ma'am. Yes, we are really happy, ma'am, to have you, and I'm sure that there are a lot of other things that all of us will come up with.
So listening to all of you, it's quite clear that change is an unforeseen part of our life, but seeing changes as an opportunity and being receptive to new ideas helps us deal with the changes.
Adjusting to these unfamiliar situations, demands, and changing roles, and remaining positive enables us to embrace these changes beautifully. So
to help us strategically achieve our goals, Women's Indian Chamber of Commerce and Industry UT Chandigarh is hosting Conclave 1.23 in honor of Basant Utsav, and that's why all of us are looking so much Basantis. So where nature and humans actually amalgamate in rare union. So here we are embracing our hospital Mohali.
Hari, member Wicci UT.
ये तालियां बनती है, come on.
So we have very special guests among us. Our Honorable Chief Guest, C.S. Talwar, a retired IS officer and currently holds the post of Secretary cum Chief Executive, Indian Red Cross Society, Punjab State Branch, Chandigarh. And also our guest of honor, Ms. Soumya Thakur, Miss Wheelchair World India. She was in a top 5 finalists as Miss Wheelchair World and a Guinness World Record holder. We are extremely happy to have you both as a chief guest and guest of honor for the evening. Thanks a lot. So before commencing the event, we will start this evening with the lamp lighting.
I would like to invite all the dignitaries for the lamp lighting session. Can we start with?
Little glitches can happen everywhere beautifully, and so will I. So with that note, let's start with the first speaker of the evening. She is the Director Principal of Chandigarh Business School of Administration and Dean International Affairs at CGC Lalra, experienced academician with an extensive experience of institution building. She's an author, poet, moderator, and case writer, along with being a prolific writer who has traveled to different countries to share her knowledge. So here she is, and to kickstart this evening, let's welcome this charismatic personality. Big round of applause for Dr. Ramandeep Singh. Big round of applause, guys.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. That was so kind of Anchal to speak so well about me, though I believe there's a long way to go. To start with, I'll first of all... Yeah.
I think everybody should stand to thank you so much for honoring us, ma'am.
So yes, ladies and gentlemen, we have our guest of honor, Miss Soumya Thakur, Miss Wheelchair World India, and she was in the top 5 finalists as Miss Wheelchair World and a Guinness World Record certified model. We are extremely happy to have you here, ma'am. Thank you so much for gracing the occasion by your presence. Thank you so much. And you're indeed very beautiful.
So, just a quick word of thanks for Ms. Deepika Bahari, President Wicci Chandigarh Council, and Mr. Desh Gulati, of course, for the invitation. And this is very well organized, and women here. The house has gentlemen also, and that's a good sign. So, I understand that Wicci is a network of strong, determined ladies, women like you, and you're running it very impressively, not only in India, but across the world. And that's what is required, and I really appreciate the work you guys are doing. So let's have a big round of applause, first of all, for the Wiccians. As I just heard, that's what you like to call yourself. So that's an amazing work you are doing. So I was talking to Deepika yesterday. I said, okay, you have invited me, thank you so much, but what do you want me to talk about? So she said, whatever you are comfortable with, but I'll try to go with the theme, embracing change. Professor in business management and teaching organizational change and development for so many years. But I promise I will not sound like a teacher today, right? And I don't claim to be an expert on this topic because I strongly believe that we all learn from each other. So I thought I'll just quickly share whatever I have understood from the dynamics of change, right? And probably everybody would have heard of and listened that change is the only constant in our life. We know things are bound to change, isn't it? Then why do we get scared? Why do we, get scared and just panicky? Some people get into so depressing mode. Why things around me are changing? When we know that this is something which is constant in life, there's an answer to this. It's very normal. Our human minds, our brains are wired like that when somebody pushes us out of our limit, we act like that. So there's nothing normal about it. So what is the challenge? What is the catch here? That we need to learn how to handle those situations. Right? Because that's where most of us fail. Yes, हमारा fuse अलग-अलग time पे उड़ता है, isn't it? Some people are more tolerant, some people are more patient, and I was just very... But then this is the inherent capability we need to develop in ourselves, especially when the speed of change is so enormous these days, right? So before I continue further, can I ask all of you to just raise your right hands? I'll do with you. And just turn it back. Take it down towards your back, touch your back, pat it 3 times. I hope you have understood. So that's a pat for everybody who's present here, including me, because we have faced the biggest challenge, the biggest change in our lives in the last 2.5 years. And I don't have to tell you what it was. Yes, we have come out of COVID by God's grace. We are sitting here with smiles on our faces and we are organizing events like this that shows that we have accepted the change. right? The new normal, which everybody has been reading about. So standing here, I cannot declare that the pandemic is over because every 2 months we are getting to know, some new variant and we don't know what's going to happen. But at least one battle we have won. We have accepted the change. We have changed our lifestyles. So that's what is called embracing change. And I know the journey has not been very easy or similar for every individual. It has varied change, right? So Mahatma Gandhi said, and that quote related to change is very famous. What's that? Be the change you want to see in the world. So that means how many of you want to change certain things in your life? How many of you want? So count which you want to change. I hope you don't want to change first of all your spouses. I'm sure that's going to be one thing which you want to do, including me, of course. So when we want to change others, when we want that, okay, this should not happen, this should be like that. So there are a lot of things which people expect out of us that we should also change. But are we ready to change ourselves? Yeah? There's no way out. If you not change, you'll be left out. Do you know what FOMO is? That's another proof we are not oldies. Because FOMO is a slang generally used by the youngsters. Fear of missing out. So if we know, that means we are still in the league, right? We are not outdated. So fear of missing out is another thing you'll land up into in case you're not keeping up with the change, right? Because that's very important. The speed of change, as I said, is enormous. The things which used to get changed over a period of 5 years or 6 years now get changed within a span of 1 year, I would say, right? So just who would have thought 6 years back that, we are going to change, we are going to buy things online, we are going to order food online, robots are going to serve us in restaurants, and nowadays people are saying, they're soon going to have flying cars. Robots are already making deliveries, home deliveries, isn't it? So we would not have thought this 5 years back, but things are happening right in front of our eyes. And you can very well understand and imagine, and you should expect that the life is going to be changed a lot in the next 5 to 6 years. Now, what is the key? What do you think? What are the 3 words required so that we are capable to handle change? We can embrace change easily. Let the answers come from your side. What do you think? What are the 3 keys?
Acceptance.
Acceptance. You have to accept that things are going to change. If you keep stuck up in your rabbit hole thinking that all is well. You remember? Yeah? Flexible is one key. You have to be flexible. You cannot be rigid anymore. मैं तो नहीं करूँगा. Whether it's your professional life or it's your personal life, you need to work on yourself. It is upskilling, upgradation. What else? Learning and growing. That is all again related. Adaptability. Adaptability is very important because if you're not ready to cope up, if you're not going to be flexible, nobody is going to wait for you. Let it be technology, let it be your behavioral aspects, let it be your life skills. You have to upgrade, you have to change. It's a simple formula. And you can read more and more about it. There's a lot of literature available on Google Baba, of course. There are a lot of libraries giving you a lot of books also. The different strategies, different skills you can adopt to understand. So those are the things. So in case this theme, again, it's irrespective of your interest, whether this theme is of interest or not, but it is going to affect you. It is going to affect you, your family, your dear ones, your kids, everybody. And if you are in a job, of course, this really wants that you should quickly change with time, especially the technological advancements, right? So, as I said, I'm not the best person to speak on this topic, but that was what, because I know Deepika told me, ma'am, please 7 minutes. So, no, I understand, because I being the first speaker, I'll not try to eat away the time of other speakers, and I know there are a lot of things lined up. So, I think and I hope that whatever I said just in last 5-6 minutes made sense to you, but it's not difficult, it's not impossible. So let's start working on this, and it's enjoyable feeling to be here, very positive and a lot of inspirations, of course, as I said. So my best wishes to the Wicci Chandigarh Council, and thank you for having me today here. Let's stay connected. God bless you.
I think it's quite true as, for the past 2 years, we've had so much changes in our lives that sometimes we forget to stop, breathe, and actually embrace it. So I request all of you again to raise your right hands, turn it back, and give yourself a pat because all of you deserve it here. And with that, I would like to thank Dr. Ramandeep ma'am for imparting us with such beautiful knowledge, which I hope that I can, stop for a minute in my life when there's change and I can embrace it. So thank you so much for that, ma'am. And next up, we have our... So I request all of you to please give a round of applause for these beautiful ladies.
माँ, मुझे कॉलेज के लिए लेट हो रहा है। मेरा टिफिन कहाँ है? हाँ हाँ, ला रही हूँ। ये लो। थैंक यू माँ। बाय। बाय बेटा।
क्या हुआ बेटी, क्यों रो रही हो?
मुझे मेरे कॉलेज के लड़कों ने छेड़ा और मेरे से बदतमीजी की।
तुम्हें उन लड़कों के मुंह लगने की क्या जरूरत थी? तुम्हें पहले ही कहा था लड़कों से ज्यादा दोस्ती मत रखो।
किसी लड़की का हंसकर बात करना और मिलना क्या इशारा है? ऐसा क्यों? हमारे यहाँ घड़ी की सुई और समाज के लोग हमारा कैरेक्टर क्यों तय करते हैं? हाय बाबा, आशीर्वाद दो। पहला दिन है आज ही ऑफिस का। बहुत बड़ी कंपनी है।
अच्छे से ध्यान देना बेटा, तेरे भरोसे हम सब मिलकर, याद रखना। भैया, कम है। तुम्हारा फ्यूचर इस कंपनी में बहुत अच्छा है। प्रमोशन भी मिल सकता है अगर तुम्हें चाहिए तो।
हाथ में किसी पोस्ट की ताकत होने का क्या ये मतलब होता है कि वो जो मन में है कर सकते हैं?
जो तुझसे लिपटी भेड़ियां, समझना इनको वस्त्र दूं। ये भेड़ियां निखार के बना ले इनको शस्त्र दूं, बना ले इनको शस्त्र दूं। चरित्र जब पवित्र है तो क्यों ये दशा है? चरित्र जब पवित्र है दशा तेरी, ये पापियों को हक नहीं कि ले परीक्षा तेरी, कि ले परीक्षा। जला के भस्म कर उसे जो क्रूरता का जाल है, जला के भस्म कर उसे जो क्रूरता का जाल है। तू आरती की लौ नहीं, तू क्रोध की मशाल है, तू क्रोध की मशाल है।
मैं बस सबसे एक चीज कहना चाहती हूँ कि आज तक हम सिर्फ डायरेक्शन पर किसी ने बहुत सही कहा है कि
Thank you, beautiful ladies. Very, very lovely performance. And when I think, I thought, एक पिक्चर होती है ना जब ऐसे राइट्स के बारे में बात होती है, परफॉर्मेंस के बारे में बात होती है, सो आई थिंक पिक्चर क्रिएट करते हैं हम अपने माइंड में. सो आई थिंक दिस वाज not the one that I picturized in my mind, and how beautifully you have taken, few of the clips from, the audios and everything. I think a lot of effort you have put in, and it was amazing. And I think very truly said that it's not just about saving the girls, but educating the men also in our society is very, very important. So I think a big round of applause for the CSR Council. Very beautifully done here. Thank you. All right. So, as just ma'am started with talking about embracing changes, and I think we have learned a lot of points from there, but that's not it for today. So, coming back to our next speaker, Brigadier Dr. R.S. Grewal, 4th generation Army officer, experience spans about 55 plus years, an ideal combination of practicing civil engineering and service in academia, and also an author. Served as Chief Engineer at Border Road Organization and also a member of faculty at the Defence Services Staff College, Wellington, and College of Military Engineering. Have held various esteemed positions at reputed institutions and presently Director Manipal University, Bangalore campus, and a member of Higher Education Committee of FICCI. Also been chairman of various peer committees constituted by NAC for accreditation of higher education. Has been awarded the Vishisht Seva Medal by the President of India and many more feathers to his cap. And it's indeed an honor to have you today here, sir. Thank you so much, and please take over. A big round of applause, everyone, for Brigadier Dr. R.S. Grewal.
Namaskar. I think it is better to address people by Namaskar because at my age one tends to forget what is the time of the day. And it is Dr. Ramandeep just reminded me that yes, there are youngsters here. We are not oldies, she said. And I think at the age of 77, I must be the only oldie here. Maybe. And Ms. Deepika Bahari has made a cardinal mistake that she has handed over to me because at my age we like to listen to our voice. So if I slightly overshoot my time, please bear with me. I will, what I will try to do is that today you are talking about Basant Utsav. I'll try to correlate to its significance and thereafter what change is required. That's what I like to say. Now, Basant Ritu or Basant Panchami is associated with goddess Saraswati, the goddess of education. We go to goddess Saraswati to remove our inner darkness. We want knowledge from her. And whenever goddess Saraswati is depicted, it is in white color clothes, white pearls. She is there on a white lotus. Purity. And with that, right from ancient times, our forefathers, our ancestors knew the importance of education, which the world is now realizing. The UNICEF in the year 1990 at a place called Jomtien in Thailand had a session or adopted a resolution which is education for all. And that was reiterated in Dakar in the year 2000. And we are continuing with it. A lot of progress has been made, but a lot needs to be done. Over a period of time, they have also realized that education basically, and if you try to provide education to the women or the girls, that will have a much better impact than trying to educate the young men. I'm not saying that the young men should not be educated, but traditionally, almost over 2 millennia, we have neglected the education of our women. And so therefore there is a need for change in our attitude. I'll try to correlate the whole thing again and again as far as change is concerned and how we need to do that. Now, the education for women results in two things. One is sustainable development, and the second one is it builds strong communities. What Dr. Abdul Kalam once, he used to mention about knowledge societies. Because if a woman is educated, you will find there will be a sea change in the family. Can't you take your mind back to your households? You have maid servants coming there. Their children go to school. Why is it that they don't do as well as our children do at school? Basically because in our case, the ladies there at home are educated. They can provide the right inputs to the children. They can guide them well. So therefore, education for women is very, very important to develop a society. It is not only the individual. And when you educate women, three things happen. One is the mortality rate, both as far as the women is concerned as well as and children. That goes down. It has been there is plenty of data available on that. Second one is, as I told you earlier, it directly impacts the personality or the well-being of the children. And the intergenerational benefits of educating the girls are much, much more beneficial as compared to educating the men folk. Now, I will take your mind back, rather I will quote an example. In the year 1999, I had gone with a government delegation to Bangladesh, a country with Muslim religion. I hope nobody will take offense to what my just talking about a religion. The health minister of the country, when he was briefing us, he boasted that the total fertility rate of the women in Bangladesh is less than that of India. You know, we talk about family planning and there is opposition here in our country, etc. And here is a Muslim country. And they have been able to reduce the total fertility rate. And I asked him this question as to how did you achieve it? He said, two things we did. One, we told the clerics in the masjids that educate the people to have lesser children. And then second thing he said was we paid a lot of attention to educate women. When I say educate the women, it was not degrees, it was not school level education, it was not literacy, it was educating the women. And with that, they were able to bring down the fertility rate of a Muslim country to less than that of a country which we are saying that we gave them independence and we are much more developed than them. So just imagine what education can do to a country. And it is still, the total fertility rate of Bangladesh is less than that of India. Today we are the most populous country in the world. And that along with that brings in a lot of other associated problems. So keeping that in mind, let me go back in history. And I will go back almost 2,500 years. The Vedic era, it can be divided into two parts. The early Vedic era, the later Vedic era. Early Vedic era starts from about 2500 years, 500 BC, and it continues up to about 1000 BC. And the later Vedic period starts from 1000 BC and continues till about when Nalanda, Takshila University vanished from the face of this earth. Very interesting things happened. When during the early Vedic period, our Vedas were composed. Please note, I'm not saying Vedas were written. The Vedas were composed at that time, and the knowledge given in those Vedas was passed on from generation to generation for 1500 years. Normal one generation is about 20 to 25 years, if there are sociologists sitting here. So just imagine 1500 years, and in 100 years, approximately 5 generations are there. 1500 multiplied by 5. How many generations had gone past? And yet, the Vedas are the only scriptures in this world about which there is no controversy कि ये लिखा था, ये होना चाहिए था. Why so? It was basically the rishis. They devised a system of checks, and there were 11 different checks. When a person passed on the knowledge orally from one person to another, those 11 checks were applied to check the content, the pronunciation, various other things. And with the result, till today, there is no aberration or no controversy as far as the Vedas are concerned. But if you see, number of other scriptures are there where there is controversies, within our country also. Another interest, now with this, when these Vedas were being composed, the women at that time had equal rights to education. The men folk went to gurukuls, which were meant for boys. The girls went to gurukuls, which are meant for girls. And there were a large number of rishis and rishikas who composed verses which were included in the Vedas. Not many people are aware of it. That the Vedas, composition of the Vedas, has there's a large number of ladies or rishikas are credited with contributing to the Vedas. Having done that, now these rishikas who were there, they were called Brahma Vadinis. And there were some ladies who went to gurukuls, they studied, and after that they went into the normal dressed system, and they were known as Sadhyovadas. Now all that thing happened, and with the result, India was at the pinnacle of a knowledge society at that time. But then what happened? Starting with the later Vedic period, it is a law of nature. Anything which goes up must come down. So for 1500 years we were at the pinnacle, but after that, during the later Vedic period, a system started where they said education is the preserve of a particular caste. Others were not allowed to receive education. More important or worrisome, or I'll say, I'll not use the word worrisome, which I'll say was something which went drastically wrong, was that the women were debarred from education. There were some historical reasons also for that, because Alexander invaded India somewhere around 326 BC. I think the Battle of Hydesmus was fought in 326 BC against Porus, but he came into the northwest India little earlier than that. And after he retreated, a lot of Greek men settled down here in India. And their way of living, their culture was different. And our people were little worried about our women folk. And with the result, they stopped them from going out of their households. This was one of the reasons. There were many others. And that started the decay in our society. The society went down thereafter. You see, if you read the history, up to that time, India did very, very well. But the day we stopped educating our women, things went wrong. And the Vedic system of education thereafter had its own challenges, and to replace that, or to make up for that, came the Buddhist system of education and the Jain system of education. The Buddhist system of education, initially when Gautam Buddha started with their system of education, he also said that women will not come to the Viharas. But one of his disciples, he insisted that no, the lifeline of a society are women, and they must be. So therefore, they started educating the women, giving them education, created separate monasteries for them. And thereafter, we had these monasteries as they grew. We had a number of our ancient universities like Nalanda, Vikramshila, Udantapuri. There are a number of them. Interestingly, most of those universities were in Eastern India, except I think Vallabhi. Vallabhi University was in Gujarat. All other universities were, but somehow these universities were destroyed because of the invasions from the northwest. The last university to be destroyed was in the year 1197, and after that the sultans started ruling over Delhi, and thereafter came the Mughal Empire. Now these sultans as well as the Mughal empires, they did not pay attention to higher education, which these universities were doing. They were destroyed by their predecessors, but the new rulers, when they came, they paid attention to the school level education. They had their madrasas, but they did not set up any university. With the result, what happened was India was deprived of higher education. When the British came, at that time, very interesting thing, the facts and figures are available, that the proportion of Indians who could read, write and maintain simple accounts was much, much higher than that was existing in Europe at that time. We were much more educated, at least school level education. But then the British wanted the education to suit their colonial objectives. So therefore, they said the system, India should have a system of education which is based on the Western system. A controversy rose. That controversy is known as Anglicist versus Orientalist system of education. You must have on the WhatsApp university, you know, उसमें एक आता रहता है मकौले का फोटो लेके उसके नीचे 1835 लिख के and deriding him. No, it was not that. I don't think so. He did it. If you see the minutes of Macaulay, what is written in that WhatsApp post is not true. What was happening was there were a large number of Indians also who were supporting the English system of education, and Raja Ram Mohan Roy was one of those. Does that mean that Raja Ram Mohan Roy was not a nationalist? No. He said what he felt at that time was for India's benefit, for our benefit. The controversy rose, and then the Anglicists won, and the school level system was changed. And the process, we destroyed the education, the school level education system in India because it was not suited for India, because the model was not, you know, it's a fundamental error. You pick up a model from one place, plonk it onto some other system without checking up the implications, and it failed. And this happened in 1835, and by 1882, the government of India, the British government at that time, felt the need for adult educations in the schools and the universities. Just imagine, 1835, we switched over to the Western system of education, and in 1882, within the span of about 4 generations, we had destroyed the school level education. Since then, we have not been able to change much of the system. 5 minutes. Okay. So, I'd just like to talk about only the change that is required. So with this result, what happened was, the government decided to bring about certain changes. We couldn't do that. 1882, they wanted to bring in skill level education, 1882, and they created 2 streams at the school level education, vocational stream and general education stream. And after 20 years, in 1902, they realized that we only about 8% students had opted for vocational education. So when we now see that the students are not opting for vocational education, it is historical. And unfortunately, we have not addressed it. We have said Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao. We have talked about dowry system. We have talked about sati system, but we have not talked about this aspect, motivating students to take up vocational education. It is a sociological problem more than anything else, and we have failed in that. So there is a need for change there. 1 or 2 more points, and then I will sing. Another thing which, because this education system, the higher education system was destroyed, school level education system is destroyed, it has also changed our psyche. You see the posts on the WhatsApp, you find people cursing the Mughals, you find people cursing the British, कि इन्होंने हमारा सारा system destroy कर दिया. But we have been independent since 1947, 75 years से ऊपर हो गए हैं. What have we done? Isn't there a time that we start introspecting as to what have we done to improve our education system? The national education policy has come. Prior to that, 1986, there was an education policy which came. I wonder how many of you are aware that it took 6 years for the government to decide how to implement that policy. So if you go back to the archives, you will find National Policy on Education 1986, and then Plan of Action to implement National Education Policy 1992. 6 साल हम बातें ही करते थे. Another historical fact I'll tell you, after that I'll finish. Our Veds, they are written in ancient Sanskrit. Not one authentic translation of the Veds is available, which is by a Indian. All the translations are by Western. We keep blaming the Western world. That 1916. 107 साल. Prior to that, it was a college for 20 years. 127 years. Why hasn't this university taken up this project to translate the Veds so that the Aam Admi is able to read it and learn from it? It hasn't happened. Therefore, there is a need to shun that victim, playing that victim card everywhere, stop that breastfeeding, get on to the job of nation building, and that is through education, and that is through not degrees, etc., studying, and not spreading hatred. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you so much, sir, for such insights on how education plays an important role in women empowerment and hence empowering the whole society. And also sharing about how education evolved with time. A big round of applause for sir, please. So for the next performance, we have Miss Kirti, invited by Human Rights Council.
Thank you so much, sir, for your enlightening speech. I think, we just got back to our history classes and everything. And it is really enlightening that, okay, I never heard that in my history class, but today I got to know about this. Orientalist. I got that word. All right, so I would like to call sir on stage for felicitation.
Just call because I think ma'am won't be able to.
Yes.
No ramp available.
So-
I'm really sorry for that. We'll make sure that next venue has a ramp.
So I would like to call upon stage our chief guest and our guest of honor, Deepika ma'am and Richa ma'am, to please felicitate Dr. R.S. Garewal. A big round of applause, everyone, for sir. A big round of applause, everyone.
Thank you, sir. Pleasure having you.
Thank you so much, sir.
I had some important commitment. My apologies.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you so much, sir, for gracing the occasion by your presence. Thank you.
So for the next performance, we have from Ms. Kirti, invited by Human Rights Council, who will perform an amalgamation of different dance forms. So with a big round of applause, we welcome Ms. Kirti.
तमिलनाडु के इस प्राचीन नृत्य को पंचवेद भी कहा जाता है। भ से भाव, र से राग, त से ताल और देवताओं की कथा नाट्य रूप में दर्शाए जाने वाले इस नृत्य का नाम है भरतनाट्यम। अपने नृत्य द्वारा एक कहानी को प्रस्तुत करने वाले उत्तर भारत के इस मशहूर नृत्य को कथक कहते हैं। मंदिरों में देवदासियों द्वारा जन्माए इस नृत्य में अदाएं, नजाकत और एक अलग किस्म का जादू होता है। पूर्वी भारत के इसी नृत्य को हम बड़े गर्व से ओडिसी कहते हैं। प्यार और श्रृंगार पर आधारित केरल राज्य के इस खूबसूरत कलाकृति को मोहिनीअट्टम कहा जाता है। राधा कृष्ण की रासलीला पर आधारित इस नृत्य का जन्म मणिपुर में है। नाजुक मुद्राओं और कोमल भावों से बनता है मणिपुरी नृत्य।
Thank you so much, Kirti. I think you have totally generated this festive mood for all of us, and I can totally vouch for that. And I hope our audience too. So, big round of applause for Miss Kirti, and thank you, Human Rights Council, for bringing this beautiful piece here. Thank you so much. So, moving on to our next speaker, and our next speaker can said to be nothing short than a savior to all women out here. So please welcome Dr. Balveer Kaur Ghai. She is associated with Ivy Hospital, Mohali as a consultant, obstetrics and gynecology IVF specialist. Her area of expertise includes adolescent health, high-risk pregnancies and painless delivery. So a big round of applause for Dr. Ghai. Please welcome.
Good evening, all of you, and thank you for having us here. I'll not take too much time because I think we're running short a bit, but yes. I do want to, actually, I'd come preparing a PPT, but I just realized that, the spirit here is more than a PPT. So I don't need to run it, what I was doing. I'm just going to be carrying forward this concept for today, that is embracing change. So for one, I'm sure we're all happy that we're going to be moving from winters and we're going to spring and we can shed our coats and, feel life. So like ma'am just said, that nowadays we all have to keep up with the change, right? So the health sector has a lot of changes coming, technology-wise, instrumentation, medicines, a lot of it. But somehow what we lack is that we need a change in the mindset of the people, of the patients, that you have to accept the treatment that is being offered, right? One more thing that I would like to discuss is that there's change everywhere. So a woman, she changes from being a girl, a daughter, she goes and develops into a beautiful young woman. Then she becomes a mother, a grandmother. There are many stages through which a female or a woman passes. So this is the best example of what change is. Like ma'am said, you have to adapt, you have to be flexible. Everything can be beautifully seen in a female, in a woman. So just to give you a little awareness that many problems are associated with female health, which need to be accepted openly. Some of them are very basic problems, like when we discuss about the menstrual cycles. So we have people who keep taking the pains, they keep going through the discomfort, but they won't come forward to a doctor thinking that it's normal for females to experience the pain. It's a misconception. It's normal, it's physiological, but there's treatment for everything. Another aspect is regarding fibroids. Like in my practice here, I've seen that we see fibroids to the size of, footballs in people's abdomen, and they somehow refrain to take medical help, to seek medical help. So please, we need to create this awareness that something is there, it can be dealt with, and we should not just sit behind. We have various modalities which can be taken or, used to treat the problems. One more thing that I want to say is that, like ma'am mentioned, painless delivery. This is a very beautiful thing. Childbirth is beautiful but very painful. It's like, it's the worst pain of your life, of a female's life. So you can make it very easy for a female by opting for something called as a painless delivery. So what basically that is that the process goes on. You are going to bear, you have to experience the contractions and the normal process. But you can reduce the pain. So it becomes very comfortable, and the mother will remember it as like it was such a beautiful thing that I delivered a child, and you have one kid, you have two kids. You're not going to be like shuddering that, oh my God, I have to go through the entire process again. So it's a very beautiful thing that's there, and the awareness is needed regarding that it's safe, it's absolutely safe, and people should opt for it. One more thing I want to highlight is that we're all aging. I mean, the FOMO and all of that apart. But there are some problems which females experience, and one of that is something called as a prolapse uterus. Why I'm bringing this up is because longevity has increased. Along with it, you carry the baggage of health problems which you have to face. So many females experience that their uterus and the associated parts, they come out of the vagina. It happens, you know, if you're aging and you're going to have Botox and fillers and you're going to have like beautification outside, it's not really possible on the inside. If there's a weakness that's going to develop, you can't really undo it. So the uterus is going to come out, that's called as prolapse. Again, people don't come forward with it. And when we see females or, you know, grandmothers and nannies, they're admitted for some other problem, like maybe in an ICU, maybe for dialysis, then we come to know that at the age of 80 that they're also suffering from this problem, which they did not discuss with anybody, you know. And at that age, they have so many other problems that we think this is not important. But it reduces their quality of life. That is the most important thing. So if you want to live a life, it should be a healthy life. So these are the few things which females really need to, you know, come up and discuss. And you need family support. You need social support for all of this. So that's one thing I just wanted to share, that, you know, everything is changing. A lot of change has been seen. Like when we see infertility patients, initially it was thought that only a female can be the cause of infertility or not being able to bear children. Yes, that outlook has definitely changed now. We see men who come forward, and before we say something, they will say that we are unable to bear children because there's a problem in me. So, well, that's really applaudable because it takes big courage to say that. But still, some aspects of female health do need to be taken care of, and all that needs is a change in your mindset. So that's all I wanted to share, and thank you so much for having me here. Thank you.
I think as women, we experience so many changes physically, emotionally, and mentally, and we kind of, you know, take care of our emotional and our mental health at times, but physically, I still feel like a lot of part we're so unaware of it that we don't know how to take care. So I would like to thank Dr. Balwin for showing us and teaching us of things that we should be knowing about. So thank you so much, ma'am, for that. And
so before moving on, they always say that the soul is healed for kids from Prasan Chetas. Just take few minutes, they are just trying to have their audio done. Till then, all of us can talk. So अभी तक सबको क्या समझ में आ रहा है embracing changes में? Game change हुई सर थोड़ी सी? Okay, I get that. Sorry, sir. What I have got from the whole host always pretend that they are understanding everything. PS. So that's your host for the evening, ladies and gentlemen. You were pretending, and I truly didn't understand what he said, but I'll pretend that I understood. Okay. So how was the performance जो अभी तक हुई है? Females पे कीर्ति की beautiful dance performance. You guys enjoyed it? Yes. So I think a big round of applause बनता है ना दोनों performance को. जो हमारे बच्चे आएंगे उनको थोड़ा पता चले आप ये सब सोच लेना अच्छे से perform करें. एक game खेलते हैं सब लोग. ठीक है? Okay, so for example, if my name is Aanchal, I can say attractive Aanchal, aggressive Aanchal, okay, anything. So let's start. All of you ready? Yes. Give me a heads up. Yeah. Great. Yes, ma'am. Reliable Ramandeep. Yes, ma'am. Motivational Monica. Yes, ma'am. In black. Yes.
Monica, again motivational.
ये तो cheating हो गई. ये तो cheating हो गई. Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am, marvelous Monica.
Marvelous morning. Help मिली. Yes, ma'am. Yes. Victorious Vandana. Nice. I like it. Okay. Yes, ma'am. Shining song, yeah. Definitely shining. All right. Moving on. Yes, the birthday girl. Kind करने का. जब ये मांगती है ना सबसे full attendance होनी चाहिए वेबिनार में, तब कोई kindness नहीं आता थी. Yes sir, अब तो बोल सकते हो. Please.
Graduation classes. 33% of the boys opt for STEM, the science subjects. And that includes technology. We are talking about undergraduate enrollment. Whereas only 18% of the girls opt for STEM. Here, I have not written it down, but since I come from IIT, in our days when I was doing MSc, there were, in each BTech class, there were just 3 girls. IIT Kanpur. The total, IITs are known for their BTech, forget people like me who are in sciences. So, from a few persons, how much do you think it is today? 12%. हम 15% भी नहीं पहुंच पाए, जबकि मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ एजुकेशन का दावा था कि by 2020 we will be 15%. Many reasons. So, with passing years, the percentage has increased. For boys, the enrollment in graduation in STEM has remained the same. For girls, it has increased. Post-graduation, now, post-graduation in science, engineering, mathematics, etc. Boys gone down, girls gone up. Very nice. The numbers who pass out in our country, 43% of women, of all the graduates in sciences, 43% are women. Please clap. Because comparing this with Europe and USA, where there are only 34% of the graduates of the science graduates are women. तो हम उनसे ऊपर हैं. Research publications, at research level also, हमारी लड़कियां अच्छा करती हैं. Of all the publications, out of every 3 authors, 1 is a woman. Very nice. However, data from US says that women in scientific workforce are 34%. United States, much less than 50%. In India, how much do you think it is? कोई कहता है 14%, कोई कहता है 16%, so certainly less than 20%. Also, this is a shady area. How do you define scientific workforce? Do you include the supporting staff, or do you count only teachers and scientists? So data differ. Disparity, thus, is there all over the world, but for us, it is huge, it is large. As far as supporting women in science goes, जब 7 मिनट हो जाएं आप लोग बोर हो जाएं, मुझे पता है. मुझे सीमा जी ने कहा था 9 मिनट लेना, 10 मिनट से कम लेना. So, as far as supporting women in science goes, the various agencies of Government of India has made a large contribution. Government supports us. So there is a scheme called Vigyan Jyoti by DST, Department of Science and Technology, 2020 it started. It is aimed at schoolgirls, 9th to 12th. They give scholarships to study STEM. Similarly, Pragati by All India Council of Technical Education, AICT. So they give scholarships to girls to study various technical subjects. Then there is Gati. This is comparatively new, GATI, Gender Advancement for Transforming Institutions. Gati, this is a very ambitious DST project led by my friend Pratibha Jolly. I spoke to her before coming here 2 days ago. She said, बहुत data है हमारे पास, analyze नहीं हुआ है, but overall, I can say over the past 10 years, things have not really improved. So Gati looks at higher education institutions. My emphasis today would be on schoolgirls, but let me come to it. So let me quickly give you a list. So there is a thing called CURIE, C-U-R-I-E, again DST. This is for women's universities. Then there is BioCare. This is DBT, Department of Biotechnology. This is to encourage women to take up research in biology areas. Then there is Kiran, knowledge involvement in research advancement through nurturing. And Kiran is very old because we have always known about the Women Scientist Scheme, which is wonderful, which is to support the women scientists who have a break in their careers. And we know that all women scientists are likely to have a, it's a distinct possibility to have a break in career. Unfortunately, the girls pass out MSc at the age of 20, 21, 22. That is the age when the whole society is sitting on their head, the whole neighborhood, their parents, every uncle, aunt ki beta shaadi kare. So these are beautiful acronyms: Kiran, CARE, CURIE, Gati, Pragati, Vigyan Jyoti. And they are working, and I hope they go from strength to strength. Then Smriti Irani in 2015, she established chairs in name of women scientists. By the way, ये मेरी आपके लिए फटकार नहीं है, कुछ नहीं है, एक ऑब्जर्वेशन है कि हमारी सोसाइटी विमेन साइंटिस्ट को किस तरह से देखती है. ये आपने एक कोलाज दिखाया था. I don't think there was any scientist in that, not even Tessie Thomas. There was Jayalalitha, there were many, mostly politicians. There were other achievers also. Sports वाले थे, लेकिन science वाली कोई नहीं थी. No, I'm no achiever. मैं किसी academy की member नहीं हूँ, कोई prize winner नहीं हूँ. So okay, so there are thus a large number of initiatives by Government of India, but notice, most of them are at research. Now, what is STEM workforce? This is a gray area, so I want to know. Pilots. There are many women pilots today, and we are proud that Indian women pilots are the largest in number in the world. Those working on machines requiring technical skills, ये भी STEM workers हुए. Those women who work, very few, but those who do work in factory shop floors, they are also STEM workers. Now, what are the reasons for less participation by women? UNESCO's words are that number one, STEM is inappropriate for women. This is the mindset. Second is there are domestic responsibilities which must take precedence over other things. Then third, support is lacking to continue with careers in STEM. In fact, mobility is one of the major reasons for women dropping out. All of these, UNESCO said it about third world countries, all of this is applicable to us. US has slightly different set of reasons. They talk about gender stereotypes. They talk about cultural attitudes. वो हमारे यहाँ भी है. They talk about very few role models existing. ये हमारे यहाँ भी है. And they talk about math anxiety, जो हमारे यहाँ नहीं. हमारे यहाँ लड़कों को math anxiety होती है, पर मैं rural girls के बीच में बहुत काम करती हूँ. Girls don't have this kind of math anxiety, which is at least in our area, Haryana, Punjab में नहीं. A recent study by ORF also adds to the list, saying women have a dual role syndrome, which is true. Most of us have experienced it. So why must we have more girls in STEM? Equity and equality. These are very nice words, That is why we must have. But more seriously, if we have more girls in STEM, we will have better scientific, financial, and social outcomes. On a more practical level, the job outcomes are better. The STEM jobs pay more, and after you study STEM, you have more opportunities. I would add from my side that STEM training enhances analytical skills. It produces more thinking individuals. And here I'm referring to science teaching in schools. We'll come back to that. More women in workplace improves the culture. Society has a better overall atmosphere. Now, how to close the gender gap? At what level? We must work for equity at workplace. The recruitments must be unbiased. I have some ideas of how to, go about improving at workplace, but this is not, I will just give you the title. Then at higher education level, you saw there are so many initiatives. Secondary education level, what we need is career advice. This is by the way for boys as well as girls. गांव में उन बच्चों को कुछ नहीं पता होता कि करियर क्या होता है, साइंस पढ़ेंगे तो क्या करियर्स मिलेंगे, आर्ट्स पढ़ेंगे तो क्या करियर्स मिलेंगे. So secondary education, career advice, proactive scholarships, mentoring by women in STEM. This is a very important thing, and whenever this has happened, it has yielded results. So I think the government and organizations like this should take up this very, very seriously. Now school, early and middle school students must be encouraged to take up science subjects. So these are the few panaceas, according to me, from what I could gather. So let me summarize. Number one, quality of STEM education in schools need to be turned upside down. Today we have a rote learning regime. We must completely scrap it and move to experiential learning so that the individuals can be logic-based personalities who are able to take decisions on their own. Access to STEM education at secondary level is also a problem, especially for girls. वो साइंस वाला जो स्कूल होता है वो अगर 10 किलोमीटर पे भी होता है तो वो नहीं ज्वाइन कर पाते. Mentoring by women again, mentoring by women role models, somehow this has to become systemic. Mentoring by role models, and maybe all of us should volunteer at one time or the other to do this. And finally, financial support in the forms of scholarships, and particularly I suggest give scholarships for transport. Wicci is doing its bit to support science and technology in India, mostly at research level. There is an International Nehru Fellowship, which is by Wicci in collaboration with DST. I think it is financed by Wicci, and selections are made by DST. I have myself had 2 Nehru Fellows from Ethiopia, and it was a very good learning experience for me. So my question to Wicci here is, just as Wicci is supporting at research level, can Wicci do it for our girls at school level? Support STEM education in schools. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am, so much. I'll thank on behalf of them. कहते thank you तो बोलने को दो ma'am को मैं कहने I'll say it myself. It was really an enlightening speech, and I just came here to say that we already have a STEM Education Council with us. The president is sitting there. She is already doing a lot of work related to STEM education. So we have already covered your point here. Thank you so much. And पैम मैम को मैं 5 मिनट बुलाना चाहूंगी डॉक्टर रिचा रंजन की रिक्वेस्ट पे. एंड मैम आप हमारे कहने पे यहाँ तक आ गए. प्लीज जस्ट फ्यू लाइंस. बोलूंगी नहीं, पर अगर मैं बोल देती कि नहीं मैं बोलने को कहूंगी तो आप आते नहीं, तो इसलिए मैंने कहा मैं बोलने को नहीं कहूंगी. बट आई थिंक इवन 2 लाइन्स फ्रॉम हर विल मेक अस अ वाइजर पर्सन टुडे.
First of all, I'd like to congratulate Wicci. Okay, age is never the goal. पहले तो मैं मुबारकबाद देना चाहती हूँ विक्की को और जितने काउंसिल्स हैं. एंड स्पेशल थैंक्स टू यू फॉर परसुएडिंग मी टू कम. बहुत अच्छी बातें सुनने को मिली, तो इसलिए समझ नहीं आ रहा है कि क्या कहा जाए. मैंने तो सोचा था बसंत उत्सव है तो ये उत्सव का माहौल लगा, यहाँ तो बड़ी सीरियस टॉक चल रही है. ठीक है, तो इतना ही कहना चाहूँगी कि बसंत का जो उत्सव है वो हमारी सरस्वती माँ के लिए है. और वो सरस्वती माँ जो है सिर्फ एजुकेशन ही नहीं है, कल्चर भी है, आर्ट भी है, बहुत कुछ है. और पहले स्पीकर से लेकर के जो अब तक बात आई, चेंज से लेकर के आई, और उन्होंने हमारी जो बिजनेस वाले मैडम उन्होंने खूब अच्छी तरह कहा, पूछा और कहा अडेप्टेबिलिटी है. मेरी सिर्फ एक गुजारिश है, चेंज आता है, नेचुरल है, क्योंकि बसंत का भी चेंज को आगे वाला जो है रिलेटेड है, तो ये आएगा, हर साल आएगा. लेकिन चेंज जब आए अपने आप को अडेप्ट जरूर कीजिए, लेकिन अपने आप को अपरूट मत कीजिए. जमीन से जुड़े रहिए, अपनी संस्कृति से जुड़े रहिए, और फिर देखिए कि आप कैसे जो है तरक्की करके ह्यूमैनिटी के लिए मिसाल बनिए. मैं दुनिया की बात ही नहीं करती, ह्यूमैनिटी के लिए मिसाल बनिए. एक बात तो ये कहनी थी, और क्योंकि विक्की का फ्लोर है, आई कैन नॉट हेल्प सेइंग कि आज के दौर में ये हमारे को पढ़ते रहे. इन्होंने तो आज बहुत अच्छी बातें कह दी. विमेन इन डेवलपमेंट, विमेन एंड डेवलपमेंट, जेंडर एंड डेवलपमेंट. आज का जो दौर है, वी हैव टू प्रूव विमेन लेड डेवलपमेंट. कोई भी दायरा ले लीजिए, हिंदुस्तान की नारी, वो अलग बात है जो बच्चों ने यहाँ वायलेंस का सीन दोहराया, तो हमें ये एफर्ट करनी कि ये जो नेगेटिव चीज़ें हैं, ठीक है, उसको हम कैसे स्वाहा करें, उसको स्वाहा करने में मदद करें, वो ख़त्म करें समाज से, और एक ऐसे समाज की जो है उसको उधर ले जाएं जो विमेन लेड डेवलपमेंट हो, ह्यूमैनिटी के लिए, देश के लिए, दुनिया के लिए हम एग्जाम्पल करें. थैंक यू वेरी मच ऑल ऑफ यू एंड विश यू अ वेरी अपकमिंग बसंत. Thank you. We have the largest percentage of girls in STEM in India, in the world, but only 20% get absorbed in the job. That is a question that we have to answer, right? वो पूछ रहे थे कि यूनिवर्सिटी की बात आई. I foreign university हमें वो पूछने लगी, लेकिन हम अपने इंस्टीट्यूशन को जो है कैसे स्ट्रेंथन करें, that is the question. Whether it is school level, high level, or university, and each one of our children, because our children are students. तो हम एक निकल करके can't do it, I can't do it, but each one of us has the capacity.
And speaking none other than Dr. Pam Rajpuri, with a big round of applause here. And I think Nibira ma'am ने बहुत सही introduction किया था कि चाहे मैम 2 lines भी बोले, but this is something that we learned today, and it we we'll become just a little more wiser. So thank you so much, ma'am.
I love you all.
We love you more. Thank you to our partners, Aham Expedition, our gift partner, Lavenza Food and Herbals, our food partner, Bikanerwala, and our health partner, Ivy Hospital.
The previous performance by the super talented kids. So here they are again to mesmerize us with another performance on plastic use. So a big round of applause for these kids.
अगर स्टेज छोटा है तो आप नीचे भी परफॉर्म कर सकते हैं अगर आपको अच्छा बच्चे चलिए ज़्यादा बच्चे हैं ये स्टेज थोड़ा आगे नीचे जैसे आपको
देखिए बहनी, आप ये आज से प्लास्टिक यूज करना बंद कर दीजिए। इससे बहुत गाय भी मरते हैं और इससे प्रदूषण भी फैलता है। ठीक है, तो मैं प्लास्टिक यूज नहीं करूंगी, लेकिन मैं आप लोगों को भी कहूंगी कि आप अपने घर से कपड़े का थैला लेके आइए।
मैं प्लास्टिक का राक्षस हूँ और मैं तुम लोगों को खत्म कर दूंगा। बिगाड़ नहीं पाओगे। अगर तुम मुझे जलाने की कोशिश करोगे तो मैं प्रदूषण फैला दूंगा। आपने मेरी बुलबुल देखी? आपने मेरी बुलबुल देखी? आपने मेरी बुलबुल देखी? कौन सी बुलबुल? अरे मेरी बच्चियाँ। किसी ने नहीं देखी। अरे किसी ने तो नहीं देखी होगी। हाँ हाँ मैंने देखी। आओ मैं दिखाती हूँ। ये रही आपकी बुलबुल, ये रही आपकी बुलबुल। अरे मेरी बुलबुल, अरे मेरी बुलबुल। देखो क्या हुआ। मेरी बुलबुल। फूला हुआ है। प्लास्टिक? अरे ये तो मर चुकी है। हाँ क्योंकि इन्होंने प्लास्टिक खा लिया है। प्लास्टिक? हाँ क्या आप लोग अपनी गाय को संभाल नहीं सकते? ये लोग इधर से उधर प्लास्टिक फेंक देते हैं जिसकी वजह से इनकी मौत हो चुकी है। ये प्लास्टिक खा चुकी है और ये मर चुकी है।
इन सब के जिम्मेदार आप लोग हो। अगर आप लोग इधर उधर प्लास्टिक फेंकते नहीं तो आज हमारी गैया जिंदा होती।
मेरी बुलबुल 2 किलो दूध देती थी। अब मेरा घर का राशन चालू चलेगा। अब मेरे परिवार का बचेगा। थैंक यू। अरे सचिन तेरे खेतों को क्या हो गया है?
इन लोगों ने यहाँ पे सारा प्लास्टिक फेंक दिया जिस कारण मेरे खेत बंजर हो चुके हैं।
अरे पहले मैं यहाँ से गुजरती थी, यहाँ पे फूल और खुशबू आती थी, लेकिन अब तो यहाँ पे बदबू ही बदबू आती है। बसंत का महीना हरियाली करे शोर, अब तेरे खेतों से हरियाली ले गए चोर। फूलों की खुशबू से महकती चारों ओर, अब क्या तेरे खेतों से क्या फूल भी ले गए चोर। प्लास्टिक के इस दौर में प्रदूषण का है माहौल, अब ये मेरे खेतों में ना फूल आए ना मोर। बसंत का महीना हरियाली करे शोर, अब ये मेरे खेतों से हरियाली ले गए चोर। प्लास्टिक के इस दौर से प्लास्टिक के फूल तो लाओगे लेकिन खुशबू कहाँ से लाओगे? जिंदगी नहीं है। कचरा है बदबू वाला, सड़कों पे ऐसा डाला, कचरे ने ले ली मेरी जान। हाय मैं कचरे से परेशान। कचरा है तेरे पीछे, कचरा है तेरे पीछे, कचरे ने ले ली मेरी जान। हाय मैं कचरे से परेशान। थैंक यू।
हम सभी प्रसन्नचेतस फाउंडेशन के स्वयंसेवक हैं और प्रसन्नचेतस फाउंडेशन का एक प्रोजेक्ट है आज़ादी, जिसके अंतर्गत हम इन बच्चों को पढ़ाते हैं। ये बच्चे 38 वेस्ट में शाहपुर कॉलोनी में रहते हैं, बाकी बस्तियों में रहते हैं। इन बच्चों को पढ़ाने का काम, रिफ्रेशमेंट देना और बाकी इनको सामाजिक रूप से जागरूक करने का काम हम लोग कर रहे हैं।
बहुत ही अच्छा परफॉर्मेंस एंड आई थिंक इनको और मोटिवेट करने के लिए बहुत और तालियां बज सकती हैं। I would like to call upon stage our our chief guest of honor, Deepika ma'am and Dr. Richa Ranjan, to please felicitate these beautiful kids. Is this someone's phone? It was on the table. Can I take it now, please? आप लोगों को डांस किसने सिखाया और स्किट किसने सिखाई? So I think big round of applause इनके teachers के लिए भी इन्होंने इतना effort डाला और इतना beautifully performance किया. And now that Miss Manjula is here, so please ma'am, we would like to call you up on stage. So everyone, here we have the founder, Basant NGO, Miss Manjula Sularia. Thank you so much ma'am. मैं ये बोलती थी कि बच्चे हमेशा कुछ ना कुछ नया लाते हैं. Yes. Thank you so much, kids. Thank you, our food partner Pickle Wala, for sponsoring the food hampers for these chota packets, and also our powered partner Aham Expedition, our gift partner Lavenza Food and Herbals, our health partner ID Hospital. And now we have a very super talented lady here, and I have known her for last 2 years now from this very platform. And I feel lucky that through Wicci I've met some amazing people, and I've heard so many positive things about her when she was an unknown person to me. And I think without a doubt, when I saw her for the first time standing here on this stage, I was fascinated, and I'm personally learning so many things from her. So this person needs no introduction, and no Wicci event is complete without her and her constant support and her children, the kids who have done amazing work right here. So please welcome Miss Manjula Sularia. Big round of applause, please.
बसंत उत्सव की सबको ढेरों शुभकामनाएं. And thank you so much for having me here, and especially मेरा बच्चा पार्टी. Sorry, I just entered at the last moment only. मुझे लगता है मैंने बहुत सारा जो total fun था वो miss कर दिया है. But then yes, I thought yes, जो कुछ miss हो गया अभी तक, maybe I'll add to that, right? किसी भी event में आकर हमारा जो main purpose होता है, main उद्देश्य होता है, that is networking, that we should get to know each other, right? Definitely some are familiar faces and some are like जिनको हम पहली बार मिल रहे हैं. लेकिन वही होता है कि yes, कहीं ना कहीं हम कई बार restrict भी हो जाते हैं to our own tables only and to our own group of people. So we'll do a small activity, very frankly. That's what I know, right? मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि yes, एक platform पे जहाँ हम इकट्ठे होते हैं, वहाँ पर सबका involvement, सबका participation होना बहुत ज़रूरी होता है, right? So the activity will be where I've jotted down a few questions. I'll be, asking you those questions, and उन questions के दो ही responses हैं, yes or no. राइट हाँ या ना, राइट? लेकिन जब हाँ है, राइट, व्हेन यू एग्री टू इट, तो आप पहले तो आपको खड़ा होना पड़ेगा, ऑल ऑफ यू, राइट? सो वेयरएवर यू आर सिटिंग, यू नीड टू स्टैंड देयर ओनली. एंड दूसरा ऐसा है कि अगर आपका जवाब हाँ है तो आप एक बड़ा वाला लीप आगे लेंगे, राइट? और अगर आपका जवाब ना है तो आप सिंपल वन स्टेप बिहाइंड, दैट्स इट, राइट, नथिंग मोर टू दैट। सो अब देखते हैं हम कितने कदम आगे चलते हैं और हम कितने कदम पीछे जाते हैं। लेकिन जैसा मैंने कहा कि जब आप आगे कदम उठाएंगे तो इट विल बी अ बिग लीप, राइट, जितना लंबा ले सकते हैं आप उतना लंबा ले सकते हैं, लेकिन जब पीछे आना है तो इट कैन बी अ स्मॉल, छोटा सा स्टेप बिहाइंड। यस, आर यू ऑल रेडी? Yes, and it is all to men and women, sirs and madams, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, sorry, girls and boys also, बच्चे, right, लड़के लड़कियाँ, okay. Okay, and are we all ready? I'm ready. So when you say I'm ready, then again it's a yes. Yes. So how do you say yes? Yeah. That's how you say yes. Okay. Good. Now we've got into action. So, are you a woman? Yes. Very nice. Are you proud of who you are? वेरी गुड, मुझे लगता है धीरे धीरे सब स्टेज पर आने वाले हैं। वेरी नाइस, हमारे सर्स थोड़ा कम मूव कर रहे हैं, व्हेन आई नो दे आर प्राउड आल्सो। नहीं, यू कैन, यस, आई मीन आप लेफ्ट राइट कहीं पे भी लीप्स ले सकते हैं, दैट इज ओके। आर यू फाइनेंशियली इंडिपेंडेंट? ओके, वेरी नाइस। कोई सवाल ना समझ आए, कहीं कंफ्यूजन हो तो आप प्लीज मतलब वो भी पूछ सकते हैं, यू कैन हैव अ क्लैरिफिकेशन। डू यू हैव इमोशनल डिपेंडेंस? हाँ, डू यू हैव इमोशनल? ओके, वेरी नाइस। Do you take care? Does your family take care of your all your needs? Okay. Do you take care of your family well? Very nice. Lovely. I like it. Now. Are you involved in the crucial decisions of the family? Yes. Very nice. Do you take your own financial decisions? Yes. Please. Yes to all men and women, girls and boys, please. Questions should be heard very clearly. कहीं कोई confusion, किसी तरह की doubts नहीं होने चाहिए. So the question was, do you take your own financial decisions independently? Independently, please, no words to be mistaken, right? Okay. Okay, so that means kahin agar no hai to maybe we can take a step behind also, yeah? Okay, are you the final deciding authority of your family? यहाँ पूछना पड़ेगा, right? कहीं Okay, last but not the least, are you proud of your achievements in life? Whoa, wonderful, congratulations, great. Thank you so much. Before you go back to your seats, please, इससे पहले आप अपना स्थान ग्रहण करें। प्लीज एक बार देख लीजिए आपने कहाँ से शुरुआत की थी और आप कितने कदम चलकर आ चुके हैं। बहुत पीछे से शुरुआत की थी, राइट? ओके, वंडरफुल। सो दैट्स, एंड कुछ लोग तो लिटरली स्टेज पर पहुंच गए, राइट? ग्रेट, यू कैन ऑल टेक योर सीट। थैंक यू सो मच। Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much. Right. Okay. कुछ और होना हो तो कम से कम हम सब स्टेज के पास थे, राइट? और सबसे ज्यादा तो ये फायदा हुआ कि पता चला कि यस, जो स्टेज के पास का नजारा है वो कितना डिफरेंट होता है फ्रॉम बीइंग देयर, राइट वहां बैठ के जो दिखाई देता और यहाँ आकर जो लिटरली लोग ऊपर आ गए थे, वी रियलाइज कि there's a major difference in it. Okay, now at the start I said कि मतलब majority of the times हम लोगों को मिल नहीं पाते हैं, लोगों से जुड़ नहीं पाते हैं, या उनसे पहचान नहीं हो पाती है। लेकिन ये जो हमने छोटा सा भी टास्क किया जिसमें आप बड़े बड़े कदम उठा रहे थे या छोटे छोटे कदम पीछे जा रहे थे, ये सही मायनों में दूसरों से पहचान हो रही थी? ओके, कुछ और भी हो रहा था? खुद से। इनफैक्ट मोस्ट इम्पोर्टेंटली इट वाज खुद से। तो खुद से खुद के बारे में क्या पता चल रहा था? What did we get to know? Yes, ma'am. हाँ जी। Wow, wonderful. Wow, I think that's a real achievement of being here at this event this evening, right? Where you felt proud about yourself. Okay. Anything else? कुछ और पता चला हो? Yes, exactly. We are no ordinary people. We are all achievers. Not we. In fact, I am an achiever, right? Okay. सचमुच जब हम वो कदम उठा रहे थे तो ध्यान दूसरों पे था? नहीं, right? Yes. In fact, उस वक्त जो सबसे बेस्ट पार्ट था वो यही था कि yes, मुझे कदम आगे बढ़ाना है या पीछे लेके जाना है, right? So all focus was primarily upon what is the question and what is going to be the response to it, right? तो यस उसमें कहीं हमें पता चला कि कोई पीछे भी रह गया? पता चला कुछ हमसे भी आगे निकल गए? यस कुछ, कोई जलन, कोई द्वेष, कोई कोई रिवेंज, कोई यस any such sort of feelings? Right. Oh, great! One, ma'am, your good name, please. I'm Dr. Leja. Dr. Leja, I must say, ma'am, you're one very positive person in this, whole hall, right? Where you are being actually inspired by people taking a leap ahead of you, right? जबकि majority of the time शायद ऐसा नहीं होता है। लेकिन इस टाइम पे, इस पल में मुझे नहीं लगता है कि हमारे अंदर ये भावनाएं थी, क्योंकि टाइम ही नहीं था। Right? We were primarily focused upon, where am I going, right? मेरा कदम उतना आगे बढ़ा या नहीं बढ़ा, या मैंने कितना सच में लीप लिया या नहीं लिया, right? Okay, now the last question. Last question is कि जब हाँ था तो एक बड़ा कदम आगे बढ़ाना था और जब ना था तो एक छोटा कदम पीछे लेके जाना था. What was difficult? पीछे जाना, जबकि वो छोटा सा कदम ही था, right? लेकिन देखा जाए तो फिर वही बात है कि जो फिजिकल एफर्ट था वो तो कम, फिर वो पीछे जाने में दम ज्यादा क्यों लग रहा था? Mental, right? So primarily it's the mental effort, it is the mental involvement, right? So आज जब हम लोग, we are celebrating this Basant Utsav, which is considered to be the month, the weather ऋतु, बदलाव की, परिवर्तन की, तो वही बात है कि हमें, ये जानना है कि यस, हर परिवर्तन स्वयं से शुरू होता है, खुद से शुरू होता है, राइट? और वही बात है कि जब आगे बढ़ना पड़ता है तो उसके लिए सही मायनों में ज्यादा दम लगाना पड़ता है, राइट? मतलब आपको वो सीरियस फिजिकल एफर्ट्स लगाने पड़ते हैं। हाँ, जो पीछे धक्का लगता है उसमें जो यस कहीं ना कहीं मेंटल कहीं ना कहीं ट्रॉमास होते हैं या मेंटल इम्बैलेंसेस होते हैं, वो अक्सर लोगों को दिखाई नहीं देते, वो अंदर के ही अंदरूनी दर्द ही होते हैं, right? But वही बात है कि yes, still we try, still we we bounce back, right? इस वक्त हम लोग वही कर रहे थे और यही जरूरत है। And tell you what, you're all that fortunate lot of people sitting in this platform. Women, majority of them women, and then financially independent women taking their own financial decisions. I think I cannot see a more progressive India than this. Thank you so much.
I remember when I was making the script, they were all talking about Manjula ma'am, and they were talking there were so many good things to hear about, and I was like, maybe she might be fantastic, I don't know. But I think today, after listening to her and after seeing her for the first time, I definitely do believe that you're a fantastic lady. Thank you so much, ma'am, for coming here. And there's this saying, the silence of a wise man is always meaningful. And we have a lot of men behind us who have made our events beautiful and have supported us with everything we like. So we would like to take this opportunity to appreciate the men in our lives who have silently been there through thick and thin and have helped each and every event and have helped us through everything. So I would like to call upon stage our chief guest, Mr. C.S. Talwar, Ms. Soumya, Mrs. Deepika, and Dr. Richa Ranjan
to felicitate these men of excellence who have been there through thick and thin and in every event. So first I would like to call upon stage Mr. Hitesh Gulati. He's HR consultant who is leading universities, a lot of universities in India, and he has always been a big support in all the events of Wicci till today. Thank you so much, sir. A big round of applause for the men of excellence, everyone.
I'm a change management consultant and मैं ज़्यादा उसने बोलना नहीं चाहता था. That is the reason I spoke about it's a game. That's
सर मुझे अभी भी समझ नहीं आया.
I am a change management consultant.
Change, okay. See, मैं बोल रही थी पैम मैम को कि सुनने में दिक्कत है यहाँ.
I wish I could lift her up and I'm feeling so terrible. We requested that a ramp should be made, but then they couldn't. So, yeah. Yes. We really want these changes in the society.
Guys, a big round of applause.
And everyone, Mr. Hitesh Gulati, change management consultant. So the next men of excellence that we have is a person who has been definitely there, and till today I can say he's there at the backdrop, he's giving us heads up, he's saying that yes, everything is ready, yes, you can do this, yes, script me, ye change, yes, this. So I think this man really needs a big round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Mr. Jagmeet Singh Bhari, COO, Undergrad, 35 plus years of experience in media and advertising industry. We are so grateful to you, sir, for handling each and every event and being behind every successful Wicci event.
Actually, I said it is his duty, but then these girls.
All should give a standing ovation to this gentleman. Only because of him, we can do all our Wicci events successfully.
Here up for Mr. Jagmeet Singh Bhari, guys.
Now that we've started on with felicitating people, we are going to felicitate our wonderful performers for the evening. I mean, everyone enjoyed the performance, right? That's it? That's it? अरे जोर से बोलो, yes or no? Yes! So let's give it up for Miss Komal Jassi, who performed the skit from CSR team. Miss Tamanjeet Kaur, Miss Paramjeet Devgan. All of these are from the CSR Council. They played a skit. Guys, don't get tired. Keep clapping. Don't get tired. Not right now. And also we have Miss Kirti who performed beautifully. So Miss Kirti.
Now we would like to felicitate our speakers. Firstly, Dr. Ramandeep Saini, Dr. Balwant Kaur,
Thank you so much, Dr. Raman. I'm sure we're taking a lot of takeaways from this speech.
Dr. Balwant Kaur Ghai.
Big round of applause for Dr. Balwant Kaur. And I'm sure we can use her expertise whenever needed. Yes.
Professor Kia Dharamveer.
A big round of applause for Dr. Professor Kia Dharamveer. Ma'am, I want to ask you, आपने फिजिक्स कैसे किया? मुझे कभी नॉन मेडिकल लेके फिजिक्स समझ नहीं आया. हाँ, when you were talking about maths phobia, I truly have it. I don't know how just men have that. I don't even know लैक में कितने जीरो लगते हैं. Truly, that was the reason that I took psychology in my life. No maths, no science.
Yeah. Miss Manjula Sularia.
And our lovely lady, Miss Manjula Sularia. Here up everyone, Miss Manjula Sularia. We would request all the speakers to please come and we can capture this beautiful moment.
All women on the stage except minority men.
So you're lucky. You are the lucky man out, sir. So here are beautiful panelists, speakers for today, everyone. And we're definitely missing Sir Dr. Garewal. Thank you, everyone. We would request Deepika ma'am, Dr. Nitin sir to be here only because there are a lot of other felicitations and of course Miss Soumya. So now we are felicitating a few of our council members who've really done a lot of work in the whole year. So first we have
Rahul Devgan sponsoring education of kids and sponsoring snacks to these kids in Navathon held in DT City Centre.
Parmeet Devgan. Can we please have Mr. Parmeet Devgan? And next we have Reena Chadha, who have encouraged all bands of society to avoid plastic waste, education of environmental studies for students of IGNOU for free of cost. So here, can we please have Ms. Reena Chadha?
Next one is Dr. Vandana Sharma for guiding people in slum areas and teaching on first aid.
A big round of applause for Ms. Vandana Sharma. Big round of applause for Dr. Vandana Sharma. And how can a council be steady without a leader? So here we have Mrs. Dipali Gulati for mentoring and providing business opportunities to girl student entrepreneurs. A big round of applause for Mrs. Dipali Gulati.
Next one is Miss Komal Jassi for organizing health checkup camps in collaboration with IV Hospital.
And what a president is without a nice VP, hard-working VP. So here we have Miss Komal Jassi. And next we have Ms. Shashi Kalia for handling social media banners, promotions, and she's always been ready with all the work before even reminding her anything. Thank you for the constant support. And next we have Ms. Jessica Garg, who has always been the most active participant, handling social media and handling every social media wellness selfies to posters to reels to best captions, giving amazing collabs. Thank you, amazing collaboration, Next we have Ms. Shivan, who don't have any action planned, and she's the one who said yes, I'll do it. One go. Thank you, Shivani.
Dance performances, we love it. Last but not the least, I was asked to take this slowly. We have a wonderful president of Wellness and Wellbeing, Anchal Sharma, who is amazing and she's behind our life for getting work done. But we love it because she encourages and motivates us.
Okay, who is here who can actually vouch for me and say I don't work?
Oh.
How many of you say she deserves this?
If you don't give her
And now we have another very important leader of who is none other than Mrs. Seema. Please, ma'am, welcome everybody. A big round of applause for her.
No event is complete without your support, ma'am.
We all are proud of her for sure. All right, coming to, sir, we would still request, I'm really sorry, ma'am, I'm really sorry, but so now we coming to जिनके बिना ये इवेंट नहीं कंप्लीट हो सकता था हमारे बहुत ही अच्छे sponsors. So firstly, powered by the whole event, powered by Aham Expedition, I would like to call upon stage Mr. Rahul. Mr. Rahul Devgan. A big round of applause for Aham Expedition, Mr. Rahul. And now we have next our gift partner, Lavanza Food and Herbal, Mr. Sheriff Arora. Thank you so much, sir, for beautiful hampers that all of you would be taking back home today. A big round of applause for Mr. Arora. Next we have our food partner, Bikaner Wala Private Limited. I would like to call upon stage Mr. Rajendra Singh. Thank you, sir, for sponsoring all the food. Next we have our health partner, IV Hospital. I would like to call upon stage Dr. Priyanka Badana and Dr. Balwin Ghai. A big round of applause for Dr. Priyanka and Dr. Ghai. now we have our beautiful and wonderful hosts, Miss Harleen Bhari. A big round of applause for Miss Harleen. Miss Sandra. हम काम मेरे से खड़े हुए I would not like to call myself. We will just have a group picture.
And Anjal ma'am.
मैं शादियों के इवेंट्स भी करती हूँ. I think when we're talking about embracing changes, I have embraced like 100 plus changes today in 3 hours, trust me. And yes, I'm embracing it. Moving on.
So now it's time for our honorable chief guest and guest of honor to be felicitated. So I would like Deepika ma'am and Richa ma'am to felicitate them.
A big round of applause for Mr. C.S. Talwar. Thank you so much, sir, for honoring the occasion by your amazing presence. And now I would request Dr. Richa and Deepika ma'am to please felicitate our guest of honor, Ms. Soumya Thakur. Thank you so much, ma'am, for being there. Exceptional woman of excellence from Wicci. Everyone. Amazing event. We need to capture.
Request all the event partners also to join, please. Hitesh sir, आप भी आ जाइए, please. Thank you so much. All the girls, Wicci girls who have received the certificates can also get a picture with the chief guest and guest of honor. Yay! Please come.
Thank you so much. And still, ma'am and sir, I would still request you to be here. I'm sorry. And now I would like both of you to please felicitate our host and co-host for today's evening. Without them, this particular event won't have been successful, and this is the first event that they are doing together as President and VP. So big round of applause for Mrs. Deepika Bahari, President, Wicci UT Chandigarh, our host for the evening, everyone. Next we have Dr. Richa Ranjan, VP, Wicci UT Chandigarh. Everyone. Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you so much, sir. Now for sure you all can sit. And now we have two more things. I would request Deepika ma'am and Dr. Richa Ranjan to please felicitate Ms. Parmeet Devgan for the Exceptional Woman of Excellence Award. A big round of applause. Ms. Parmeet Devgan. Big round of applause, everybody, for the Exceptional Woman of Excellence. Women creating a better world for all in the Women Economic Forum 2022. Because of her some personal incident, she was not able to attend the event, but today we all are appraising the same. Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am. Both of you can please sit now, and I hope I won't call you back. And now, I would like to call upon stage Mrs. Seema Gupta for a vote of thanks for the host. Please welcome Mrs. Seema Gupta, everyone.
नमस्कार, अब गुड इवनिंग बोल सकते हैं क्योंकि 3 घंटे से हम बहुत अच्छा एंजॉय कर रहे हैं एंड ऑल थैंक्स टू दीपिका मैम, डॉक्टर रीचा और जो ये सपोर्ट सिस्टम है विक्की का जो कौन सी मैम जो हमारे एस्टीम स्पीकर हैं, गेस्ट ऑफ ऑनर, चीफ गेस्ट सर, आई होप हम सब ने आपको बोर नहीं किया और एक बहुत अच्छा रिच एक्सपीरियंस जो भी फील्ड में एक्सीलेंट वर्क विदाउट डिलेइंग एनीथिंग और रूरल एरियाज में भी जाते हैं, बच्चों को एजुकेशन देते हैं और क्वालिटी टाइम स्पेंड करते हैं. विद दैट आई एम वेरी थैंकफुल टू दीपिका मैम फॉर गिविंग दिस प्लेटफॉर्म टू मैनी न्यू कमर्स. और जो यंग बच्चे हैं उन्होंने आपने देखा है आंचल, she is spreading joy and blissful time around. With that note, सभी के लिए 2023 मंगलमय हो, blissful हो, peaceful हो, सबकी सेहत बहुत अच्छी रहे और खूब अच्छा खाएं पिए बनाएं. दिक्कत नहीं है क्योंकि हमारे बीच डॉक्टर साहब हैं और अच्छे न्यूट्रिशनिस्ट, डाइटिशियन, you just name a profession and we are just flying it. तो साइकोलॉजिस्ट की पूरी है, इनकेस खा खा के आपको कुछ कोई सिंक कर रहे हैं या डिप्रेशन आता है मोटापे से, डोंट वरी, पूरी लाइन साइकोलॉजिस्ट की है. एंजॉय, थैंक यू वेरी मच. आप एंजॉय करें, हैव ए ब्लिसफुल टाइम. गुड इवनिंग.
Be absolutely blissful, and we have started with that.
She started and we all are go ahead with her. Welcome Deepika ma'am for formal votes.
Yeah, hi all, good evening. No doubt that when I was chosen the president for Wicci UT Chandigarh to call up girls, ladies and give ki bhai Wicci kya hai aur aap isko kyun join kariye, and I had justify, pull a little people up, and now you can see the wonderful results. You already know, so I have named them one by one and spreading joy and happiness together and but given tiffins for these destitute children. I'm very And without her and ma'am, it wouldn't have been possible. आपने हमारे इवेंट पे 4 चांद लगा दिए. और फिर भी मुझसे कोई भूल चूक हो गई हो तो प्लीज एक्सक्यूज मी फॉर दैट. थैंक यू.
Now, I would like to call upon stage our honorable chief guest, Mr. C.S. Talwar.
First of all, I think I should bow before Miss Soumya Thakur, who is guest of honor here, and in fact she is the honor of India, pride of India. I'm grateful to Dr. Deepika Bari, the president. But someone mentioned that you are a doctor. Okay. So I stand corrected. Deepika Thakur, Deepika Bari and Dr. Richaranjan ji, who gave me such an opportunity. It is said that if pride, pleasure and privilege can combine at one moment, I think it is the moment for me. Such a way to celebrate Basant, and the reason is such a graceful, as you said, bouquet, I think galaxy. And the grace is not because of Basantiness. Grace is because of such an enlightened, awakened, erudite, and spirited and committed ladies, which make India proud. I was mesmerized when I was listening to the speakers, one above the other. When Ramandeep ji was speaking, I wished if my teachers could be so wonderful, तो हम भी कुछ बन सकते थे. Then Madam K.A., respected Madam K.A. धर्मवीर, क्या sincerity है job के लिए, क्या commitment है. She came so much with such a preparation and enlightened us and relevant data. Dr. Ghai, picture of excellence, picture of professional excellence. I am really mesmerized, if that is the correct word I am using. And these stage secretaries, compeers, they put life into everything. Short package, medium package, large size package, extra large package. There was so much of learning and knowledge here, and learning sprinkled, knowledge sprinkled with wit, humor, fun, frolic, entertainment, whatnot. Such an occasion comes once in a lifetime. So I lack words to express my gratitude to give me this honor. And then she said, change. Is the change happening? All the achievers sitting here, men were taking their steps backward. Women were moving forward. I was lucky to get the excuse. The table was before me. So that was an excuse, of course. And it is said that, it used to be said, behind every successful man there is a woman. Now we have a consolation that behind such successful women, there are some men also. It's really, I'm grateful to my men partners that at least we win consolation prize. change. I remember what Madam Kia, when she was speaking, she said we lack icons in science for women. She is mostly correct. But you know what is the greatest scientific research center of the world? NASA. And every astronaut is a great scientist also. Astronaut is not only a pilot or a driver. He rocket chalata hai driver. He is a great scientist, astronaut. And the greatest center of the planet, scientific center of the planet, sends a team of astronauts into the space. And the captain is Indian woman Kalpana Chawla. What greater icon can be there? Another scientific mission goes into the space. Again, the leader is Sunita Williams of India. And she goes, the beauty is she had Madam Rajput. She spoke beautifully. I didn't have much introduction about her, but in 2 minutes, she gave us the keynotes. She said, we are to change, but not to be uprooted. And the Sunita Williams, just see the example. She might have married someone from France, Christian, whatever. But she never forgot her religion, never forgot her roots. When she went to space, she took with her Gita, Ganesh, and national flag of India. That is Indian woman. What else is needed? Time is coming when the most powerful woman of the world may be a woman. Kamala Harris is just on the brink. Indians are doing wonders. And Vivekananda had said more than 100 years ago, just give an opportunity to Indians. We have fallen. At that time, we were fallen nation. We were at the feet of the people. Hunger, poverty, starvation, famine, and epidemics, slavish mentality, whatnot. But at that time, Vivekananda said that once the Indians get the opportunity, the Mother India will be seated on the seat of glory, more glorious than ever in the past. And now see, who is the chairman of G20? Once even entry into G20 was considered a big thing, and we are chairman of the G20. We are already a superpower, not only militarily, intellectually, economically, and spiritually. We are not to forget our spirituality also. And when Madam Rajput was speaking, I thought that I should also, not a piece of advice, suggestion, humble suggestion. You are all enlightened, successful achievers, elite group of ladies. What message you are to give to the coming up women, coming up girls? That to be a woman itself is to be great. Don't try to be second-hand men. Better to be first-hand woman than to be second-hand men. Sometimes girls try to be men, try to be boys. They say if they can drink, why not we should drink? If they smoke, why we should not smoke? Sign of freedom, as if they think. Why smoking is a taboo for women only? Idea is not, concept is okay. But see it on the reverse order. It is women's virtue that they don't smoke. It is women's great virtue that they don't drink. संत होके ड्रिंक करता है. Is it a compliment to him or abuse to him? अगर हम कहते हैं वुमेन होके स्मोक करती है, some women say it is a degradation of women. Are we not free? Young girls generally think in universities like this. Are sometimes you are to give this message. So that way, you are better than boys in that sense that you don't drink, that you don't smoke. Don't think that we are slavish, that we can't smoke, that we can't drink. So this has to be understood. Sometimes they said that we have to remember our past also. Grewal Sahab had done a great study on ethics. Vivekananda says, women of India, Vivekananda 100 years back, just give an opportunity to Indian women. They can do anything and everything. Vivekananda said it. And then he said two things. Never forget that your ideal is Sita. Some people may say I'm perhaps becoming, but Vivekananda was saying it. He was not an orthodox. He was the most learned man perhaps in the history of mankind. I'm not exaggerating. Professor J.H. Wright of Harvard University had said, here is a man who has more learning than the learning of all the professors of Harvard University put together. Just see his level of. He says, and Sita, you will say, what qualities of Sita should we adopt? Sita was slightly elder than Ram. She was very modern in her thinking. She used to call Ram by name. She was very strong. वो जो कहते हैं धनुष किसी से नहीं उठाया जाता, सीता वो घर की सफाई के वक्त ही उठा के रख लेती थी. और when Rama was given orders of बनवास, तो उस वक्त सीता ने एक सवाल किया. वो कहता तुम तो कोमल हो, आपसे बनवास कैसे सहा जाएगा? कहती why not? If you can tolerate, why can't I? बड़ी आर्गुमेंट्स होती हैं, लेकिन राम ने, सीता ने एक बात ही की है, और मेरी वो शायद आखिरी बात है. वो कहती है कि मुझे बताओ कि वनवास आधे राम को हुआ है कि पूरे राम को हुआ है. आप मेरे बिना कंप्लीट हो. और इंडियन कंसेप्ट में अर्धांगिनी है, जिसको मॉडर्न हम है, और हमारे कंसेप्ट में सीता पहले है, राम बाद में. सीता राम है, राधे श्याम है. आवर फाइनेंस मिनिस्टर लक्ष्मी है, आवर एजुकेशन मिनिस्टर सरस्वती, आवर डिफेंस मिनिस्टर दुर्गा. तो इट इज इंडियन कल्चर में, जैसे उन्होंने बताया कि प्री वैदिक में दुनिया में सबसे ज्यादा रिस्पेक्ट अगर किसी सोसाइटी में थी, दैट वाज इन इंडिया. एंड वी फॉरगॉट देम. कुछ इन्वेडर्स आ गए, उनका इन्फ्लुएंस हुआ. कहीं पर घूंघट नहीं था, कहीं पर पर्दा नहीं था. रामायण में देखा कहीं पर्दा, महाभारत में देखा कहीं पर्दा. There was even a concept of Shambha. So we are to remember our roots also when we move forward. So future belongs to you. It used to say that it is man's world. I am afraid that it may become a woman's world. Thank you. I'm hopeful also. Thank you.
And truly words of wisdom, and we are getting short of time, so moving on to a guest of honor. Ma'am, we would like you to say a few words.